Hi, welcome to Christ Green Relax. So I just had a little bit of a conversation in my head as I was leaving. And then I thought, I have to actually share this because somebody needs to hear it. So I was getting ready to go out and I picked up my book. I always keep a book in the car, but because I was cleaning the car, I brought it out. So as I grabbed hold of my book, I was like, we are all just characters. We're all just characters in a story. And then it got me thinking about why people are walking around looking miserable, looking dishevelled, looking like they just can't be arsed anymore. And then I was thinking to myself, why can't you just change the story? You are the main character in your story. You are the author of this story. And you can change it at any time. And I thought to myself, right now I'm reading a book called 8 Detectives. And I'm only on page 27, okay? But it's great so far. And that's what your life should be like. It should be a book that it's juicy. It's got all these different elements in it. It's a book where you can look back and say, you know what, I really liked chapter 23. But chapter 5 were a bit iffy, or this chapter 7 had me, in suspense. I was at the edge of my seat. Because when you read a book, the characters, all these different characters, is the character mysterious? Is the character, the villain, the protagonist? And these are the things that happen in life. You are in your own story and you have these characters, whether the character is your partner, your friends, your work colleagues, your family, your kids, your neighbour. They're all characters. And you can choose at any point to put them characters as extras. They're in the background. You don't have to have them as the main event. Because if you think about a story, there's always somebody who's doing something wrong to somebody. There's always somebody who's, stirring the pot. There's somebody who's like the villain. There's somebody who's frustrating. You can have frustrating characters. And this is just like life. But you don't have to go through 20 chapters of a book, liking that character. You could say, I don't want that character in chapter 5, so I'm going to take them out. That's it. It's just, whatever is happening in your life and you've got to a certain point in life, you can say, all these chapters have been rubbish. I'm going to start a new chapter. And this one's going to be fantastic. And it's going to have all these elements of abundance, wealth, health, prosperity, joy, laughter. Because that is what life should be. Life should be about this amazing book that you don't want to put down. And if someone was to ask you, what was your favourite chapter? You can go back and say, oh yeah, that chapter was fantastic. But you don't want a book where you go, oh my God, I read that and it was absolutely rubbish. I couldn't even get through it because it were rubbish. Oh, the characters were rubbish. Nobody wants a life like that. So you are the author. You have to make the characters amazing. And if the characters that you've got right now aren't doing it for you, put them as extras, put them into the background. And create the new characters, which means go and find the characters that would be more aligning with your storyline. I think sometimes, when you have a book, do you really think that the author of this book just wrote it one time like that? No. Even a person who's never wrote a book, say somebody has a business, they don't just have one bit. If you ask the most leveled up people, they will always say, I had a business and it failed. It failed. And that's what you should do with your life. You should make it like a book. You write it, that's the first draft. Nah, I don't like that one. Write it again, second draft. Nah, I don't like that. Put it in the trash. Until you've worked on yourself and become the masterpiece. And then you have a best-selling book. You have a best-selling life. That's what I'm going to be doing. I know that up until now, when I had my birthday early on in the year, I was like, this is a new chapter for me. And the chapter is filled with so much greatness. And yes, there's always going to be hard times in life. I feel like life is an experiment. It is, to me, in my opinion, and not everyone agrees, but in my opinion, I always say to myself, why are we here as the human beings? Why are we here? What is the purpose of life? It can't just be to reproduce, because if that was the case, then we'd all just drop down dead after we've reproduced. It's because we've got to share, we've got to experience these emotions. We have to experience all different types of levels of emotions through life, through this life journey. You're going to feel bereavement. Of course, your grandparents are going to die. Your mum and dad's going to die. A family member's going to die. Your best friend could die. Somebody's going to die, and it's going to cause such great loss and grief and sorrow. You're going to feel heartbreak. You're going to feel frustration. You're going to feel stress. But you're also going to feel joy and excitement and euphoria. And if you haven't experienced those, then this is the time to do it. Start that chapter and make it the bestseller ever. You are the author of your life. No, if you don't like what's happening and you just keep moaning about it, nobody's going to, the audience is going to go, ugh, ugh. And I feel, again, in my opinion, the audience is the universe or God, whatever you want to call it. So if you're showing the universe or God, this is my life. This is all these fantastic things are happening. This is my life. The audience, God or universe, goes, wow, that's fantastic. Everything's energy. Everything is energy. So you're putting it all out and they're giving it all straight back. But I feel that the people that are constantly in a cycle of the woe is me, it's always somebody else's fault, there's always something happening, there's always some drama, there's always, I have bad luck. I feel like it's like you're in that writing process of the characters are rubbish, the setting, the environment's rubbish, the plot line's rubbish, and the audience, God or the universe, says, you know what, she just needs a little kick up the butt. So I'm just going to throw this at her. And then it's up to you to say, you know what, I'm going to turn this experience into something great. But when you keep doing the same stuff, you keep getting trapped in the same cycle. And you never get off the wheel. You never get off. It's just the same cycle over and over again. But if you could just say, enough, this story is rubbish. I'm going to create an amazing story. It's going to have amazing characters, loving, intelligent, funny. I'm going to create the perfect scene, the environment. It's going to have the most amazing plot. And then somebody, the audience, can read that and say, wow, that was freaking fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And when you do that, when you write the best-selling story of your life, the people around you can see and the energy radiates out. Now, obviously, their story, that is up to them if they choose to, be inspired by what you're doing. But I would hope that what I am doing in my life can inspire other people. And it starts with getting the characters and the storyline and the environment right. I know that you can write a bestseller. I know you can do it. So go do it. If you don't like this chapter, turn to the next one.